Yes, I'm going to go through with you along with the diagrams, figures we have on this module, which will cover pretty much the whole thing. Uh, like sectional charts, we're going to cover all these sectional charts, and I advise you to do that yourself. Get a screenshot of this, or you can, because you have the whole document that you can download, get this shot itself and make it your wallpaper, so that you can, every time it hits your eye, you know all these classifications and all that, which is pretty much in the first glance you might get confused. It's too overwhelmed, but when you keep looking at it, no big deal, you can handle that. And I'm going to also discuss along the way Class B classifications, as I showed you, Class C classification, Class D classification, Class E classification, and the figures, how to calculate the maximum altitude and all that. We're going to deal with all that, and with these, whether it is thick blue line or thick magenta line, or dotted segmented blue line or segmented magenta line, will tell you. I will show you the charts and for you to figure out whether it is Class B, Class C, or Class D. So those things we are going to deal one by one in a very methodical way, so that when you walk into the examination center, you are fully armed. You are not going in there with any hesitation. You're very confident, and I'm very confident that you will definitely get through the exam. And the other calculation I was talking about, the load factor calculation, we are getting into that. That is under module 8, figure 12. You got the load factor calculation. I'm going to explain to you. Then you got stall and attack angle. What I mentioned over here are definite questions. Stall and attack angle, we will be dealing with that. And I'll also show you how a remote pilot license looks like, so that you know what is the document that we are talking about. And then clouds and weather, cloud identification, we will deal with that. Not enormously. Weather is a vast subject. It's a difficult subject. Thanks to Al Roker, my friend. Thank you for publishing this book, Al. It made me understand the weather really, really deep into it. I went. So and runway landing patterns, we will deal with that also. I know you will ask, we are not even allowed to go anywhere near the airstrip, so why are we talking about the landing patterns? But can we leave that arguments until we get the remote pilot license to our hand? And wait a minute, there is real relevance here, like what FAA believes is what I do agree. Well, if you know the landing patterns, you know this big Airbus Jumbo coming around, what is the kind of a path it takes to get into the runway. Then you, as a remote pilot operator, you are a small little Twinkie, going up there and hitting one of those humongous jet engines is nothing to worry about, because you know how the pattern is. In that sense, it's a valid knowledge for you to know. And then there is also a list. If you go figure 19 of module 8, it lists the PLT learning statements. That also, before you go to the examination, I want you to go through that list, because you know why? The original list is over 600 codes. I eliminated so many of it, because most of it does not apply to you and I as a remote pilot operators, because if an emergency happens in a major aircraft, you have to dump the fuel. You have that problem? No, so many things like that. So, but I listed out this about 30, 38 or something. I cannot remember exactly, but those are the main things. So before you, if tomorrow it's the exam, I want you to run through. Oh, have I covered all these codes? So then you are covered that way too. Airport data. Yeah. So okay. Then also on the legend, I took out this airport data itself and magnified that, and put into another page. I'm going to explain that very closely, because there's sure one more question will be there. What indicates the common traffic advisory frequency? CTAF, a sure question. I do not want you to miss that either. So we are doing great for the, and then there are, as I said, I'm going to go through all of that, and then we will proceed for the recap, and you'd be out of the woods. So let's see.